you're asked to complete this double integration of, well, it's the integral of 6x minus y from negative square root of y to y squared dx, then from 0 to 1 dy. Now, let me rewrite it. You're going to integrate 6x minus y. You're going to go from, let's write, since you have dx here, and remember, you integrate from the inner integral first and then the outer integral. So you're going to integrate with respect to x first and then with respect to y dx. That means you're going from x is equal to negative square root of y to x is equal to y squared, right? Then after that, you have dy, and that's going from y is equal to 0 to y is equal to 1. Once you see dx, it means x equals that. dy means y equals that. Alright, so this applies to dx, x equals that. This applies to dy, y equals that. Alright? Now, as usual, I want you to pause the video, write down the question, and finish it off for me. Okay, you're finished. What did you get for it? Let's look at it. Now, you integrate with respect to x. That means you consider anything, any other letter you see as just a constant. Alright? So this is going to be 6x squared over 2, because you're integrating x with respect to x. Right? So you remember the power rule, you add 1 to the old power to get a new power and divide by that new power. Minus, what do you do with the y now? You treat y as if it's just a number, a constant. So you remember that when you have an integral with respect to x, you don't see the x there, it means x to the 0 and multiply by y. So you're going to add 1 to the old power 0 to get a new power 1 and divide by that new power. Alright? Because this is really 1 times y, you know, but that one is x to the 0. But you should remember that by now. Alright? It's a definite integral, so you're going from x equals negative square root of y to x equals y squared. Then later on you're going to touch on the integral from y equals 0 to y equals 1 dy. Now you put in the boundaries. Let's just write the integral sign back here. Y equals 0 to y equals 1. Let me give some space and write the dy. I might have to move it. But you put in the boundaries. Remember, what you're working on now is the integral with respect to x. You don't touch the dy part as yet, but you need to write it so that you don't forget. Right? Okay. So you have 6 times x squared. You substitute the upper boundary for x. Now, x is y squared. So x is y squared, so you substitute it for x. But x is squared, so it's y squared squared. Okay, divide by 2 minus, and you have x is y squared, so it's x. Alright? But you substitute y squared for it. So it's y squared. And it's to the 1 over 1. But you don't need to write that. So it's y squared y. Okay. Minus, substitute the lower boundary now. The lower boundary. Negative y. Negative square root of y. Right? So you have 6 times negative square root of y. You substitute for x. But remember now, that itself, right, is squared. So it's x squared. So that itself is squared. Alright? So then this is x, you put negative square root of y where x is. And you remember it is squared. So it's negative square root of y, and that is squared. Okay? Over 2 minus, and then here x is negative square root of y times y. Good. So now you work and simplify, right? Oh, by the way, let me see something here. So it's minus. This is and then you substitute negative square root of y. Just checking, make sure I don't make any mistake. You put in y squared for x squared, for x and then square it, or 2 minus, put y squared here, and then multiply by y, good, minus, you put y squared for x here, and then you have to square it, good. I mean, oh no, minus, you put negative square root of y here, and then you have to square it, alright, minus, you put negative square root of y here, multiply by y, alright. So, let's simplify before we integrate. So we write back the integral from y equals 0 to y equals 1 of, it's going to be what now? 221, 206, 3 y to the 4th. That's 3y to the 4th minus y squared by y is y cubed. Okay, minus, this is 3 again. Now, negative square root of y squared. That's going to be negative square root of y times negative square root of y. But then, what will happen to it? What you're going to have is a positive square root of y squared. Right? So, let me just erase part of this. So it's going to be 3 times the square root of y squared is just y. Right? It's going to be 3 times y, because that is squared. Yeah, let me put it in brackets, minus square root of y times y. Now remember the square root of y. There is going to, first of all, it's minus negative. So you have a minus and a negative here. Square root of y is really y to the half times y to the 1. So remember your laws of indices, right? When you think there, when you multiply y to a power times y to another power, you add the powers, right? So what you're going to have is 1 plus half. So add the powers, half plus 1. But half plus 1 is 1.5. So it's 1.5. But 2 ones 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So it's 3 over 2 or 3 halves. So it's y to the 3 over 2 then. Alright? So that's what you have there. Now, it's right again, simplifying even further. The integral from y equals 0 to y equals 1 of, you have 3y to the fourth minus y cubed minus, first you have 3y plus y to the 3 over 2 because you have a minus negative dy. But let's open the bracket. When you open the bracket, it's going to remain negative, and this negative, this positive, this plus y to the 3 over 2 is going to be, thing there is going to be negative. Alright? Alright, so what we have is 3y to the fourth minus y cubed minus 3y minus y to the 3 over 2. So let's integrate this with respect to y now. So this is 3 y to the 4 plus 1 is 5 to the 5th power over 5 minus, and then this is y to the 4th over 4 minus 3y to the 2 over 2 minus y to the, well, this is going to be 3 over 2 plus 1, which is 3 halves plus 1, which is 2 halves, which is 5 halves. So it's 5 over 2. Alright? To the 5 over 2 divided by 5 over 2. Alright? And the boundaries are from 0 to 1. Okay? Now we substitute the boundaries. It's 3 times 1 to the 5th over 5. The upper boundary first, alright? Which is 1 minus 1 to the 4 over 4 minus 3 times 1 squared over 2 minus 1 to the 5 over 2 divided by 5 over 2 minus, well, it's 3 times 0 to the 5th over 5 minus 0 to the 4th over 4 minus 3 times 0 to the 4th, 3 times 0 to the 2 over 2 minus 0 to the 5 over 2 over 5 over 2. See that? Now, 1 to any power is just 1. So all of these are multiplied by 1. So it's 3/5 minus a quarter minus 3 halves minus 1 over 5 divided by 2 minus, what happened along here is 0. This is all zeros, right? And by the way, 1 divided by 5 over 2, this is same as 2 over 5. So that's 2/5 there. Okay? And you work it all out. I just use my fractions calculator to work it out off the screen. So you have 3 over 5 minus 1 over 4 minus 3 over 2 minus 2 over 5 equal. And that's negative 31 over 20. Negative 31 over 20. So that's your answer.